The first time my mother's cane hit the marble, it sounded like a gunshot. Don't, she warned from the top of the stairs. Not in my house. Down in the living room, my sister Danny stood beside the Christmas tree like she owned the whole season. Red lipstick, white sweater, phone held high. The little Lev badge glowed on her screen. My son Micah, 10, froze on the rug with a plate of cookies. His hands trembled. Crumbs fell like snow. Danny smiled at him like a shark. Go on, she said syrupy. Tell Grandma what you did at school. Tell her how you got suspended. Micah's eyes snapped to mine. Please, Mom. I set my purse down. Slow. We're not doing this. Danny tilted the phone toward me. Oh, we are. America loves a good meltdown. My mother took one step down. Tap. Another. Tap. Each strike made the air smaller. Danny, Mom said, put the phone away. Danny didn't. He stole, Mom. Your precious grandson, caught red-handed. She turned back to Micah. Show her what you hid. Micah swallowed. It wasn't like that. Open it, Danny ordered, pointing at his backpack. I moved to him, hand on his shoulder. Micah, look at me. Breathe. Danny laughed. Breathing doesn't fix character. Micah's backpack sat near the couch. Danny swooped down, yanked the zipper. A small velvet box slid out and landed on the rug. Danny's smile sharpened. What is this? I felt my stomach drop. Danny, don't. She flipped it open. Inside, my mother's emerald ring flashed under the tree lights. The ring Dad gave her before he died. The ring she swore would be buried with her. Danny gasped for the camera. So you did steal? No, Micah cried. I was going to return it. Mom's cane stopped midair. She stared at Micah. Why was my ring at your school? Micah's voice came out thin. Aunt Danny. She came to my class. She talked to my teacher. My throat went dry. You went to his school? Danny waved a hand. Auntie duties. Mom's eyes narrowed. What did you do, Danny? Danny angled the phone closer to Mom's face. Smile, Grandma. Confess your favorite grandson is a thief. I stepped forward. Turn it off. Danny leaned back. Make me. Micah blurted. She told me to take it. Silence slammed the room. I turned to my son. Micah, what? He stared at his socks. She said you were broke. She said Grandma needed the ring cleaned for a surprise, and if I helped, you wouldn't get evicted. My breath caught. Evicted? Danny's smile wobbled, then snapped back. Kids lie when they're caught. Mom's voice went low and dangerous. You told him his mother was losing her home? Danny shrugged. It's called motivation. I lunged for the phone. Danny pivoted, laughing, and the live chat chimes sounded like tiny coins dropping into a jar. Mom stepped down the last stair. Give it to me. Danny held the velvet box just out of reach. Say the truth first, she sang. Say he's a thief. Mom's hands shook. Danny, give it back. Danny leaned in, eyes bright. Or what? You'll cut me off again? Like you did when I married Caleb. My mother flinched at that name. Caleb, Danny's husband, who vanished 3 years ago with her savings and, according to the rumors, half the church donation fund. Nobody said his name anymore, like it could summon police at the door. Danny turned the camera toward Mom. Tell them how you abandoned me. Tell them how you chose her. She jerked her chin at me. Always her. Mom's mouth opened, but no sound came. Micah whispered, Grandma, please. Something cracked in Mom's eyes. She reached, not for Danny, but for Micah's face, as if to memorize it. I tried, she murmured. God help me, I tried. Then she turned away. I followed, heart banging. Mom, where are you going? Her cane tapped faster now, not slow and dignified. Urgent. She disappeared into the study and shut the door. Danny called after her, bright and cruel. Don't run, Mom. The viewers love a cliffhanger. I stood frozen, staring at the door. Mom, open it. From inside, I heard a sharp click. Not a lock. A safe. My skin went icy, because I knew that sound. I'd heard it once, years ago, the night Dad died. I whispered, no, Mom, please. Behind me, Danny's smile flickered. Just once, like she finally realized she'd lit a fuse she couldn't put out. Then the front door opened, and my husband Troy stepped in with a grocery bag. What's? He began, then saw Danny's phone. Are you filming? Streaming, Danny said. Micah's little crime spree. Troy looked at Micah's tears. Son, did you? I didn't, Micah choked. Aunt Danny made me. Danny tapped her screen. Too late. I already reported an unsafe home. Just in case. My throat burned. You called CPS on me? Danny smiled, sweet as poison. It's for Micah's own good. I slammed my palm on the study door. Mom, open it. Now. Inside, a safe clicked. Metal shifted with a sound that made my stomach drop. Troy dropped the grocery bag. Oranges rolled. What is she doing? Danny kept her phone up, cheeks bright. This is insane. The chat is loving it. Turn it off, I snapped. She smiled. Can't. People are donating. Micah clutched my sweater. Mom, I'm scared. I knelt. Stay with Dad. Don't move. Troy knocked. Ma, talk to us. The door opened a crack. My mother stood there, hair undone. She held a thick envelope, and something in her other hand made my breath catch. My throat closed. Mom, please, put it down. Her eyes went straight to Danny's screen. You wanted truth, she said. Here. Danny's smile twitched. Mom, stop being dramatic. Mom held the envelope out to me. Take this. Don't open it here. What is it? I whispered. Protection, she said. Then she faced Danny. And you, stop filming. Danny lifted her chin. You can't tell me what to do. Mom lifted her hand slightly. Not threatening, just enough to make the room freeze. Danny went quiet. For one breath, Danny looked afraid. Then she recovered. Are you threatening me? On live? Mom's voice turned small. No, I'm ending it. I lunged. Troy grabbed my waist. Sophia, careful. Mom stepped back into the study and shut the door. Micah cried. Grandma! I hit the door with my shoulder. Mom, don't. A siren wailed somewhere far off, getting closer, like it had already been called. Danny's eyes glittered. That's CPS. You're welcome. I spun. You called them? She shrugged. Unsafe home. Kid admitted stealing. I did my duty. The study door stayed shut. I pressed my ear to the wood. Mom? Say something. Silence. Then a sound, soft and final, so quick my brain refused it. My knees buckled. Micah's scream tore through the hall. Troy shoved Danny's phone down. Stop recording. Danny stared at the door, pale. She wouldn't. She wouldn't. Troy, I choked. Break it. He rammed the door twice. On the third hit, it cracked open. The room smelled wrong. The air hung heavy. My mother sat slumped in Dad's leather chair, completely still. Her eyes were open, unfocused. On the desk, a yellow legal pad. One line, don't let Danny take him. I made a sound I didn't recognize. Micah tried to run in. Troy grabbed him. Nobody. No, but Micah had already seen her. He shook, whispering, Grandma, why? Danny hovered behind us, voice shaking. I didn't mean. You meant to humiliate my son, I said. And you did. Outside, tires screeched. A hard knock. Police! Open up! Danny snapped into performance. She lifted her phone again, tears appearing fast. Officer, thank God. My sister's home is unsafe. I grabbed her wrist. Put it away, she hissed, eyes wet and sharp. Touch me again and I'll press charges. Troy opened the door. 2 officers entered, then a woman in a blazer with a clipboard. CPS. The CPS woman scanned Micah's face, the broken study door, my mother's body. Her voice softened. We received an emergency report. Danny sobbed for the camera. I was scared. He admitted he stole, and the grandmother, she pointed, did that. One officer looked sick. Who reported? Danny lifted her hand. Me. I have video. The CPS woman's mouth tightened. You livestreamed this? It's documentation, Danny said quickly. Ms. Harper crouched to Micah. Do you feel safe at home? Micah's gaze slid to Danny. Danny smiled, tiny and warning. Tell the truth, sweetheart. Micah swallowed. I don't know. My chest cracked. Micah, you're safe with me. Ms. Harper stood. With a fatal incident on scene and an allegation of theft and neglect, protocol requires temporary placement. I clutched Mom's envelope. Wait, she left something. Not now, Ms. Harper said. Danny exhaled like victory. Looks like I'm saving him. Troy stepped forward. He's not going with her. Ms. Harper's pen hovered. Any approved relative? I stared at Danny. Not her. Danny reached anyway. Micah, come to Auntie. Micah backed into me, shaking his head, and then the envelope tore at the corner. A glossy photo slid out and landed at Ms. Harper's feet. She picked it up, and her face changed. Because it was Danny, standing beside Caleb, smiling, dated 2 weeks ago. Ms. Harper lifted the photo. Who is this man? Danny's tears stalled. My ex. Old picture. It's dated, an officer said. 2 weeks ago. Troy muttered. Caleb's been gone for years. The officer's radio crackled with a name match. He looked at Danny. Where is he? The envelope spilled one more thing. A note in Mom's handwriting, taped to the back. She hides him at the lake house. She planned the theft. Micah whispered, Lake house? The one Aunt Danny says doesn't exist? Danny backed up, clutching her phone. She's dead. She's lying. I stood shaking. She died to stop you. The officer stepped closer. Phone down. Now. And Ms. Harper's voice softened to Troy. If we confirm this, Micah stays with you tonight. I watched the officer take Danny's phone like it was evidence from a crime show. Hands behind your back, he said. Danny laughed once, sharp. This is a mistake. No, I said. This is the first honest thing that's happened tonight. They led her out. The siren lights washed red and blue over Mom's body as paramedics covered her face. Micah buried his head in my side. I don't want Aunt Danny, he whispered. You won't have her, I said. I promise. Ms. Harper cleared her throat. We still need to verify the lake house claim. The older officer nodded. We'll send a unit. Danny twisted around. You won't find anything. The door shut behind her. For the first time all night, the house went quiet. I sank onto the couch, clutching Mom's envelope. Troy sat beside me, shaking. She planned this, he said. Your mom knew. I opened the envelope fully. Inside were bank statements, printed emails, and a folded deed. The deed was to the lake house, in my mother's name, not Danny's. Ms. Harper leaned in. Why would your sister say it doesn't exist? Because Mom took it back, I said slowly, after Caleb disappeared. Troy frowned. Then Danny's been hiding him there, using Mom's property. Micah looked up. Is Grandma mad at me? My heart broke again. No, baby. She saved you. 2 hours later, I sat in a cold interview room at the station. Coffee burned my tongue. An officer slid photos across the table. Caleb, thinner, bearded, alive. He's wanted for fraud and assault, the officer said. Your sister's been moving money through fake charity streams. I closed my eyes. Using my son? The officer nodded. She needed a scandal. Sympathy drives donations. The door opened. Ms. Harper stepped in. Micah will stay with you, she said. For now. Relief crashed through me. Thank you. She hesitated. But this isn't over. There's still an open investigation. When we got home near dawn, yellow tape cut across the study. I couldn't look at it. Micah crawled into my bed. Can I sleep here? Yes, I said, holding him. Forever if you want. My phone buzzed at sunrise. Unknown number. A video loaded. Danny in a holding cell, eyes wild. You think you won? My blood went cold. She smiled. Caleb isn't at the lake house anymore. The message ended. I called the officer. She moved him. By noon, the news hit. Local woman's death following family dispute. Danny's face was everywhere. Crying. Broken. The villain was gone. The victim had arrived. Outside my house, a van parked. A reporter knocked. Did your son steal from his grandmother? I slammed the door. Troy paced. We need a lawyer. Another knock. Harder. Ms. Harper stood there, tense. Danny posted bail. My knees went weak. Already? She has donors, Ms. Harper said quietly. And she's filing for emergency custody. Claims you're unstable. I laughed, hysterical. My mother just died. That's her argument, Ms. Harper said. She says grief makes you dangerous. That night, the power went out. Micah screamed. Mom! I grabbed a flashlight. It's okay. A shadow moved outside the window. Then a knock. Slow, deliberate. Troy whispered, don't open it. A voice slid through the door. Sophia, it's me. Danny. Alive, free, and smiling. I just came to get my nephew. I backed away from the door. You are not taking him. Danny laughed softly. Court order says I can visit. She slid a paper under the door. It looked real. Stamped. Signed. Troy swore. How did she move this fast? Friends, Danny said. Always had them. Micah clung to my arm. I don't want her. I opened the door just enough to see her smile. Leave, I said. Now. Her eyes flicked past me, into the dark house. Where's the envelope, Sophia? My heart stuttered. What envelope? The one Mom left, she said. She always loved secrets. I shut the door, locked it. My hands shook. Minutes later, headlights swept the living room. A car pulled up. Another. Police? I opened the door to an officer holding papers. Ma'am, we need to speak with you. Danny stood behind him, arms folded. She's hiding evidence. The officer's eyes were tired. We received a tip about financial documents. I held up the envelope. This belongs to the investigation. Danny smiled. See? Unstable. The officer took the envelope. We'll log it. As they turned away, Danny leaned close. Caleb will never be found. She walked off into the dark, humming. Inside, Micah whispered, Mom, what if Grandma died for nothing? I knelt in front of him, tears burning. She didn't. We're just at the hard part. Outside, Danny's car engine started, and I realized something too late. The lake house deed was gone. My phone rang immediately. A blocked number. Caleb's voice whispered, laughing, She always wins, Sophia. The call ended. I stared at Micah, then at the dark road outside, and understood the truth. This was only the beginning. The lake house burned at sunrise. I smelled it before I saw it. Smoke, sharp and wet, drifting across the highway as Troy drove like his foot hated the brake. Micah sat in the back, silent, gripping my old hoodie. Is that Grandma's house? Yes, I said. Stay in the car. Flames climbed through the roof like they were alive. Fire trucks screamed. Neighbors stood barefoot on the gravel, filming, always filming. An officer stopped us. You can't cross the line. That's my mother's property, I said. My sister stole the deed. He checked his tablet. There was a man inside. He escaped before crews arrived. My knees went weak. Caleb, the officer nodded. We think so. Micah whispered. Is he bad? Yes, I said. But he's also scared. And scared people make mistakes. By noon, Danny went live. She stood in front of the burned house, dressed in black, eyes glassy. My family is cursed, she cried to thousands. My mother. Now this. I watched on mute. My hands shook, but my mind didn't. Something clicked. She's lying again, Troy said. No, I said slowly. She's bragging. I called Ms. Harper. Check the donation links. An hour later, she called back. Shell charities. Money funnels to a private account. Whose? I asked. A pause. Your son's name is on one. My chest imploded. She put Micah's name. She made him the beneficiary. Ms. Harper said, if anything happens to you, I hung up and ran to Micah. Pack a bag. Why? He asked. Because we're going somewhere safe. The doorbell rang. Danny stood there, smiling too wide. No camera this time. Surprise, she said. I brought a peace offering. She held out a stuffed bear. Micah stepped back. You don't get to be here, I said. She leaned in. You don't get to decide that. Behind her, a car idled. A man sat inside, face hidden. Caleb, I whispered. She smiled. You're finally paying attention. I slammed the door and locked it. Danny's voice floated through the wood. Courts tomorrow. Custody. I'll win. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. A photo loaded. My mother's yellow pad. Another page. If she comes to the house, check the floor safe. I froze. Floor safe? Troy asked. We ripped up the rug in the study. Under the dark mark in the floor, a steel plate waited. Inside, USB drives, cash, a letter. I read it out loud, voice shaking. Sophia, if you're reading this, I failed sooner than I hoped. Danny took out life insurance on me. On you, too. She needs Micah. Not love. Leverage. Micah covered his ears. Stop. I held him. It's okay. The letter continued. I hid proof. Caleb's crimes. Danny's plan. Give this to the judge. The door rattled. Police? Danny called sweetly. Open up. The judge didn't speak right away. He stared at Danny like he was memorizing her face. Then he looked at Micah. Aunt Danny told you your mother would lose you if you didn't steal? He asked. Micah nodded. Yes, sir. The courtroom was silent except for Danny's breathing. Fast, uneven. The judge set his glasses down. Ms. Daniels, he said, voice flat, you weaponized a child for profit. You staged a crime, live-streamed abuse, committed fraud, interfered with a CPS investigation, and coerced a minor. Danny shook her head wildly. They're lying. My mother was unstable. The judge raised his hand. I am not finished. He turned to the bailiff. Take her into custody. Bail is revoked. The click of handcuffs echoed like a verdict of its own. Danny screamed. You can't do this. I have donors. I have followers. No, the judge said. You have charges. As she was dragged out, she locked eyes with Micah. For the first time, there was no smile. Only fear. Outside the courthouse, cameras swarmed. This is a misunderstanding, Danny cried. I was protecting my nephew. But then the prosecutor stepped forward. She took out life insurance policies on her mother and sister. She placed the child as beneficiary. She planned to profit from his trauma. The crowd gasped. By nightfall, every platform suspended Danny's accounts. Her donation pages vanished. Her sponsors dropped her. Her fans turned. Caleb was arrested 2 days later at a bus station in Arizona, using Micah's name. Federal charges followed. Fraud, identity theft, assault. He took a plea deal. Danny didn't. At sentencing, the judge spoke again. For coercion of a minor, financial exploitation, fraud, and conspiracy, he said, you are sentenced to 18 years in state prison, with no contact with the victim or his family. Danny collapsed to her knees. Micah didn't look at her. CPS closed the case. Permanently. Ms. Harper handed me the paperwork. Full custody. No further reviews. I signed with shaking hands. At home, Micah slept through the night for the first time in weeks. No nightmares, no crying, just quiet. Months later, we sold the lake house. The money went into a trust. Micah's trust, under my name. Danny's name was nowhere on it. On the anniversary of my mother's death, Micah placed flowers beneath her photo. She stopped her, he said softly. Yes, I answered. She did. My phone buzzed once. A prison notification. Inmate Daniels. Commissary access. Denied. I deleted it without opening. Some stories don't need updates. That night, Micah curled into my side and whispered, she can't hurt us anymore, right? I kissed his hair. No, I said, she can't reach us at all. And for the first time since the live stream, it was over.